Because I think you had mentioned possibly it sounded like that your technicians actually sail the jobs, or do you have
Yeah.
estimators in the office? What
Well,
does
let
that look
me let
like?
me finish running through the kind of how we got the company structured. So we got the handyman apprentices. Then we have the
Okay.
three different levels of handyman. Um, then I have a service manager for them in the office. I actually have two now.
Okay.
So I have the level three guys under one manager and the entry level one and twos under another service manager. So I'm currently overstaffed, but I'm preparing for growth. So I
Okay.
have two.
So the service manager's
Um,
role.
Make sure that those guys is that kind of the middle person between the customer service reps and the actual technician going out.
yes. Yep. And then we have a remodel side, which we call it remodel. We don't do whole home remodels. We might do a bedroom, we might do two bedrooms, painting, patching walls, kind of just bringing things up to date. Now we do quite a bit of bathrooms, and we have some kitchens, but we're doing kitchen refacing, not kitchen remodeling.
Okay.
The margins are substantially better because I don't have to buy all the cabinets. So, um, with that being said, the way that's structured is I have um, a supervisor, which I called a remodel director, and then I have currently have three leads. So I have three trucks. Each truck has a lead, and then a remodel apprentice, which is essentially a helper slash trainee. And the goal
Okay.
with those guys are within 6 months to a year, they're ready to take their guy's job, and hopefully their guy moves up to something else, or
Okay.
we multiply. We currently have three. The plan is to end the year with five of those trucks.
And if I
So, and
recall correctly.
actually, I don't know if you can see it on this board. It's hard to see, but that's kind of planning for the whole entire growth of the remodel.
Okay.
We do a lot of planning, but when you grow this fast, you better.
Yeah.
Um, and then let me think here. I think that covers remodel, that covers handyman side.
One quick thing
Um,
for
Distinction.
distinction.
If I recall correctly, you said 13 total trucks. So three are the remodel, dedicated to that remodeling, kitchen refacing side, and then 10 handyman.
13 handyman,
Okay. So you guys are
three
separated.
remodel.
Okay.
And then my remodel supervisor, he has a company vehicle. He is in the office about an hour and a half to 2 hours in the morning. The rest of the day, he's making his rounds through each of the remodel projects. Sometimes he's picking up material. Sometimes he's putting out fires. He's talking to customers. Sometimes if our guys get hung up on a job, he can run by and help them out, get unhung up. That's primarily what he does all day long. And then he's also capable of running an estimate if needed. These guys are really rude. Sorry. I
You're
have a
good.
window right in front of me and they're dancing for me. Sorry. I moved my computer. Um, if
Shouldn't
they're
have
if
told
they're
him you were doing this.
if they're mean, I'm going to make Austin come in and talk on the podcast. He's one of my service managers,
That'll
and then
do it.
he'll hate me.
Is he the level one and two or level three?
He's the level three, so
Ah.
I promoted him from the field, and he was actually my first service manager besides myself.
Okay.
So he's actually just been promoted to field director. So he's overseeing the service managers, the remodel managers, and all the crews underneath him. So
Wow.
we're just kind of moving people around, changing directions a little bit. He
Mm-hmm.
also manages the estimators who go out, which I currently have one full time, and then my remodel director, he goes and takes the overflow estimates. So,
Okay.
you know, but then I have a full time estimator named Daniel. If somebody calls in and says that they need to, they want something done, I'm really just trying to get an estimate for next week, next month, whatever it may be. We try to not send the handyman guys. We try to send them on stuff that they can quote
Mm-hmm.
and get started on right away. And if we feel like that this is a customer who's really just wanting to get a price, or their project is something that could be scheduled out for a few weeks down the road, we'll send the estimator. The estimator is a much better communicator than most of my handyman guys is. So, his closing percentage and his average ticket's higher.
Hmm.
So we want to send him to as many of those jobs as we can. So we typically run him 3 or 4 of those a day.
Okay.
So I know last year he produced about 750,000 in revenue. So I imagine this year I think his goal is about 850 to 900. So it's been a little slow start, but we'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
And that makes up my whole field essentially.
Okay.
And then on the office side, so I have an accounting manager and she has 2 part-time people that work under her, right? So they do anything with money, payroll, taxes, invoicing, collections. Man, if it involves money, it goes to Sarah, who's my accounting manager.
Mhm.
And then I have Erin, who is my call center manager. So she has herself answering booking calls, dispatching technicians. So they run the schedule every day. And then we have a guy named Gary who does the same. And then, Dustin, who also does the same. But his primary role is that he is the project coordinator. This is the new role that we started in January of this year.
Mhm.
So he's taking all of the bigger estimates. Everybody loves me. I'm going to make you get on this podcast. So he takes all the estimates, he types them up into our format, he emails them out. We use a service that we can see when the customer actually opens the email and sees the proposal. He does all the follow-up calls on the proposal. So, our deal is that we promise the customer we'll get them their estimate within 3 business days. So we try to be Johnny on the spot with that. Dustin coordinates the remodel crews, the estimators, where they're going, what they're doing, how many days they're going to be in a job, if they're running ahead of schedule, behind schedule. He collects the deposits for the bigger jobs. He'll order materials if instructed to by the remodel director. So he does a lot of that.
Okay.
And that's been very useful, having him primarily function on that part of the business, because that's roughly about half of our business. Roughly this year, 2.5 million of it will be what we call remodel, which are just our little bit lengthier projects, typically over 4 or 5 days.
Mhm.
And then the other remaining 2.5 million come from handyman type jobs.
Wow.
So
Okay.
2 or 3 day little jobs, 1 day jobs, whatever they may
Mhm.
be, as simple as hanging a TV to I'm going to paint 3 or 4 bedrooms and do a bunch of patches. And then I guess that leaves me.
Okay, so you sit on top of all that and kind of keep the ship